explain it to me. Explain it to my listeners.
Sure. Cupping is where you basically have either a glass or plastic, or some use silicone kind of cups. And what that does is it actually uses a suction. Traditional acupuncturists will use fire cupping. I am not that cool at all. I do like the suction thing,
Yeah,
right?
that's what Michael Phelps had at the Olympics. Remember that one year? That's what
Yeah.
we all were like, what the hell is that on him? Oh, that's cupping. That's what at first my wife and I were like, what is that? Oh, okay.
I don't think
So
I've heard of it.
you don't do the heated ones, you do the suction ones,
I
right?
do suction. Yeah, I do like a mechanical suction. And what it does is it pulls the skin layer away, kind of uses suction to kind of pull it away from the skin. And then it opens up what's called the fascia, which is the connective tissue between the skin and the muscle. So oftentimes that fascia is really tight. And when there's muscle spasms, it can all get really I don't know, tight, compressed, kind of locked together. And there should be some good blood flow in between there. And so what cupping does is it kind of helps to separate those tissues, allows the blood flow to get in there, allows the lymphatics to flow, and it just kind of helps relieve that tension. So there's probably way more like ancient stuff to it. I'm not the most versed, I would say, on that. That's just what I see
Yeah.
in the practice. And people can get in a 15-minute cupping session the kind of feeling they would get from a massage. Like it's that quick.
Wow. Yeah. I did it once and absolutely did help.
Yeah.
I'm just so lazy on coming in to do that stuff. And I know, what's your thoughts on Western medicine? Let's talk. Do you
Well,
like it? Are you for it? Are you pro or con?
like
Pro or con?
everything has its place.
Yeah.
I think that the allopathic medical model that we have in our country, I mean, emergency medicine, hands down, orthopedic medicine, hands down. My kid just had surgery last week. Like, I can't do anything for that. I mean, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think everything has its place. But when it comes to chronic disease, when it comes to like making you healthy, what the Western medicine has is literally drugs, which are oftentimes toxic and poisonous. Some save lives, hands down, but some don't, and some cause
Yeah.
more harm than good. And, I think that there can always be a good balance when they're all used appropriately. My
Right.
kid, again, that had surgery, she's taking narcotics right now because she's been in a lot of pain. That's what they're there for, in small doses as needed. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm saying. I'm not a
I,
drug basher, but
right.
let's try to maybe find a different solution first that is more natural, that comes from the earth, you know what I mean? That it's been around
Yep.
forever. And if we can handle it that way, awesome. If we can't, we need to bring in heavy hitters, then we
Yeah.
do. You do its best.
I got to tell you, I love that philosophy, and I think I have. Yeah, I grew up with my mom and dad. They're both gone now, but they will. Excuse me. They both. It was all Western medicine. Give me pills. Give me pills, and if they're hurting me, give me more pills to counteract those pills. I mean, when my mom passed away, we had like cabinets that were just stocked full of 6 months of medications, and it was crazy. And obviously, like you say, some of that stuff was absolutely necessary. Blood thinners, things like that. You got to
Mhm.
have them. But it can get really crazy. And
Yeah.
I think, too, there's a good balance of Eastern and homeopathic.
It's very big and it's right there. And so I lost it. I just
Yeah.
lost it. And I'm reading the report and it says under the differential diagnoses that the radiologist says, tumefactive MS, that's a type of MS, or malignant neoplasm, which is essentially a malignant brain cancer. Uh,
Cancerous. Yeah, brain
Cancer
cancer.
of the brain, yeah. So I
Oh, my
I
God.
lost it. I called my husband crying and we went and made an appointment for a neurologist. The neurologist was like, well, you're too healthy. I'm like, because I'd gone for like a 3-mile run that morning. And he's like, well, you can't have MS because you're too healthy. I'm like, well, okay, but
Did
there's this big thing in my brain. What is it?
Yeah. Did they do? Here's a question for you. My ex-spouse had MS,
Okay.
and I know it took a long time to diagnose for her. Did they do a spinal tap, or did he just?
They wanted to do a spinal
Yeah.
tap and they wanted to do an actual biopsy. They wanted to go into my brain and do a
Oh
biopsy.
my God.
And that's where
Drill into your head.
Yes, yes. And
Okay.
that's And when he said that, because he said, well, first of all, he said it's not a brain tumor because it didn't look like it was a space occupying lesion. So that was huge. I was very happy about that. But MS was the next differential
Yeah.
diagnosis. And I decided not to go in and have that done. And that's when I decided I needed to kind of figure out another option, take something into my own hands. And I was listening to a podcast at the time of a guy that I had found. He's a chiropractor as well out of Florida. And he was not there that night. His wife was actually doing the show. And so I was on live and she's just taking questions and she's a chiropractor as well. And so I kind of typed in, I'm like, hey, I have this lesion in my brain. Have you ever seen this before? And she's like, actually, I have. She's like, I have had patients that have had that. I would love the opportunity to see you or to talk to you about it. And I'm like, okay, here's someone that may have answers for me. And I set up an appointment with her and she did the quantum nutrition testing, which I had never heard of at the time. But she did the quantum testing on me, determined that it was most likely a parasitic lesion in my brain. So parasites in my brain creating that lesion. And that's what was causing my vision loss.
Okay, so that's better, but that's still really freaky. You've got a parasite in your brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did she determine that? Through this quantum nutrition testing?
Yep. Exactly. So I
Sure. Yeah.
cheerleading, but I did have a stint of junior high track. I did
There
2
we
years.
go.
And I was a
knew it.
sprinter and I was quick. I was really fast.
Okay. Well, let's get into it. You were a sprinter. What distance did you do?
100 and 200 in the 4x1.
Oh my gosh, that's legit sprinter.
That was fast.
Do you remember any of your times?
No.
No.
I have medals. I have medals. I got
What?
In junior high track. I medaled and got a couple firsts and a couple seconds.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So that's in high school?
Junior high.
You did?
That was junior high. And
Junior
the reason
high.
I didn't continue with it is because I had terrible shin splints. Like I used to go to PT.
You should have saw a chiropractor.
I should have seen a chiropractor, correct, and gotten orthotics, because once I got orthotics when I was in college, chiropractic school, my shin splints went away.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so you're doing it junior high, high school. You got shin splints. You hang up the running shoes.
Yep.
And not doing gymnastics. Did you do any athletics in college or just studied?
No, I took care of the athletes.
Got it. When did you start? Because you run now, and we're going to talk about the injury you had, real quickly last fall and your recovery from that. You run now. When did you start doing your running that you're doing now? Was that recently, or has that been a while?
Oh, it's been a while. When I was in undergrad, I had a friend that liked to run. She's like, "Will you go with me?" I'm like, "Oh, I hate running. Like, I hated distance running. I used to cheat. When we had to do running. When we had to do when I was in junior high track, we'd have to do distance days. And I would cheat.
You cut across the golf course or something?
Cut across the golf course. We used to have to run the golf course. I'd totally cheat and be like, "Oh, that was great."
I'm so fast. Yeah.
I'm so fast.
You were a sprinter. You're not supposed to be doing distance. Come on.